The X-Men franchise helped define the comic book movie genre, but many of its stars didn't stop at one superhero universe. Several actors from the X-Men films have since been recast as entirely different comic book characters, many of whom went on to star in the MCU, the DCU, or other superhero franchises. This list focuses only on actors who were in X-Men movies first, and then went on to play different roles elsewhere. Notably, this excludes cases like Josh Brolin, who was cast in Deadpool 2 after playing Thanos. It also precludes Morena Baccarin, who was already in Gotham before Deadpool. These are actors whose superhero careers began with X-Men. 13 Halle Berry. Storm and Catwoman. Halle Berry portrayed Storm across 4 mainline X-Men films. She boasts one of the more enduring roles in the franchise. Following her X-Men tenure, Berry shifted to the DC universe by playing Patience Phillips, a reimagined version of Catwoman, in 2004's Catwoman. Despite Berry's star power, the film was critically panned. It is widely considered one of the worst comic book adaptations ever made. Still, it marked her as one of the first X-Men actors to headline a solo superhero movie outside the franchise, even if the result didn't stick the landing with audiences or critics. 12 James Marsden. Cyclops and Richard White. James Marsden played Cyclops in the original X-Men trilogy and briefly returned in X-Men: Days of Future Past. After his time as Scott Summers, Marsden joined another superhero universe in Superman Returns, 2006. Here he played Richard White, Lois Lane's fiancé. Though not a superhero himself, the role was significant and placed Marsden squarely within the DC film world. Superman Returns attempted to revive the classic Donner-era films but failed to launch a lasting franchise. Still, Marsden's shift from mutant team leader to a supporting figure in Superman's orbit gave him superhero credentials across franchises. 11 Oscar Isaac. Apocalypse played the titular villain in X-Men: Apocalypse 2016, buried under heavy prosthetics and digital effects as Unsabah Nur. Though the role was visually iconic, the film received mixed reviews, and Isaac's performance was often lost beneath the makeup. However, he found comic book redemption in the MCU. Isaac starred as Mark Spector in the Disney Plus series Moon Knight. Unlike Apocalypse, Moon Knight allowed Isaac to show range through multiple personalities and psychological depth. His dual portrayal in X-Men and the MCU highlights how actors can transcend a misfire with a truly layered superhero role. 10 Nicholas Hoult. Beast and Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult portrayed the younger version of Hank McCoy Beast in X-Men: First Class. He reprised the role through multiple sequels, including Days of Future Past and Dark Phoenix. After years as the brainy but gentle mutant, Hoult took a villainous turn. Hoult played Lex Luthor in James Gunn's Superman 2025, part of the rebooted DC universe. The casting marks a major shift from his heroic X-Men days to playing one of the most iconic antagonists in comic book history. Hoult's transition from conflicted hero to calculating genius villain signals a bold new chapter in his comic book career. 9 Zoe Kravitz. Angel Salvador and Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz had a brief but memorable role in X-Men: First Class as Angel Salvador, a mutant with insect-like wings and acidic spit. Although the character was killed off quickly, Kravitz later made a bigger splash in the DC universe. She played Selina Kyle, Catwoman in Matt Reeves' The Batman 2022. Kravitz delivered a grounded, nuanced take on the iconic antihero. The performance was praised as one of the best parts of the film, showing her range and maturity as an actress. Kravitz's upgrade from a supporting mutant to a major Gotham player highlights her genre evolution. 8 Edi Gathegi. Darwin and Mr. played Darwin in X-Men: First Class, a mutant with the power to adapt to survive any environment. Ironically, his character was killed off early in the film, sparking controversy given Darwin's supposed invincibility. Gathegi later joined the DC universe with a far more central role. Gathegi was cast as Mr. Terrific in James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie. This marks a significant upgrade from his previous comic book appearance, with Mr. Terrific being a central character. Fege's trajectory shows how early missteps in superhero films don't always define a career. Peter Dinklage Bolivar Trask and Atri Peter Dinklage portrayed Bolivar Trask in X-Men, Days of Future Past. He played the brilliant but morally ambiguous scientist behind the Sentinel program with a chilling menace. Though not a mutant, his role had a significant impact on the film's dystopian timeline. Related, the sprawling X-Men universe set up some thrilling narratives that it failed to fully realize or simply just forgot about by the next movie. Dinklage later made a surprising appearance in the MCU as Eitri, the giant dwarf blacksmith in Avengers: Infinity War. The role was more fantastical and mythological, contrasting with Trask's grounded nature. His ability to deliver commanding performances in both worlds showcases his versatility and adds him to the list of X-Men alumni who made the leap to Marvel's main cinematic universe. 6. Rebecca Romijn Mystique and Lois Lane. Rebecca Romijn originated the role of Mystique in the original X-Men trilogy. She portrayed the shape-shifting mutant with a deadly, silent presence. After her X-Men run, Romijn transitioned into the DC universe, voicing Lois Lane in the animated Death of Superman and its sequels. While it wasn't a live-action role, her contribution to DC's animated film continuity is noteworthy, as those movies are all highly... Romijn's post-X-Men work demonstrates how actors can continue influencing comic book media in voice roles. Romijn has maintained a superhero presence even outside traditional on-screen performances. 5. Kelly Hu, Lady Deathstrike, and China White. Kelly Hu appeared in X2, X-Men United as Lady Deathstrike, Wolverine's silent nemesis and fellow Weapon 10 experiment. Although her character had few lines, the brutal fight between her and Logan remains a highlight of the film. Later, Hu entered the DC universe. Hu has voiced several superhero characters and appeared as China White in Arrow. The character became a recurring villain in the CW's Arrowverse, giving Hu a longer-lasting comic book role than she had in X-Men. Her ability to transition from big-screen menace to small-screen adversary reflects her staying power in superhero media. 4. Elliot Page Kitty Page and Victor Hargreaves. Elliot Page played Kitty Pryde in X-Men: The Last Stand. Page returned for X-Men: Days of Future Past, where Kitty's phasing ability becomes crucial to the time travel plot. After the X-Men films, Page went on to star in Netflix's The Umbrella Academy. Page appeared as Victor Hargreaves, a character with explosive, reality-warping powers. While not based on Marvel or DC comics, The Umbrella Academy is a popular comic book adaptation, and Page's performance is central to the show's success. This transition gave Page a more emotionally complex and central superhero role than he had in X-Men.